folks, it's Mr. B, YouTube's best kept secret, and all-round best YouTube guardian gamer in the world, bar none, deal with it, and I'm here with the gorgeous, the beautiful, the Queen of Supreme, the podcasting dream.
Just call me Tats.
I love how you did I always love how you did that little pause. Just call me Tats. So yeah, we're back. Now, we were supposed to be back last week. And we recorded everything. It was an amazing podcast for us two. Because only us heard it.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, the software I used, which was Slobs. My nemesis at this moment in time. For anyone who doesn't know, that's Streamlabs OBS. Just literally recorded nothing but static. Yeah. And I sat there.
It was a good podcast, though.
It was an
I was
amazing
really gutted
podcast.
about that.
Yeah, it was a mix. It was all about COD. And obviously now it's a bit... Well, it's happened now. So we've got a little bit to talk about COD because we had new stuff. But we're back. And the main thing is, we're back and we're back to our weekly routine. And I've got to say, I've been listening to the videos you've been putting out, Tats. Fucking awesome.
Tragic.
Especially with your little cat Luna.
I know. Speaking of Luna, she's actually right in front of me at the moment, and she's just like licking my hand, and it's kind of like their way of saying hello or like I love you. And oh, bless her, she's so cute.
So there's nothing in between, is
it? She wants to be on the podcast today. She liked it the first time that she was on the video, so she thought she'd come back for a round two.
You just made your cat sound like a gold digger completely. There's nothing in between hello and I love you. Hello, how much do you earn? Yes, I love you. I live with you. That's fine.
Pretty much. She loves me because of what I give her in treats and God knows what else. So,
Cupboard
she's
love.
a bit of a gold digger.
Well. Yeah, I know it very well. Cupboard love. Yeah. My wife says I have cupboard love for her, but that's not quite true. But no, it's good to be back. I've had a hell of a week, in all honesty. I'm sat here now. My eyes are streaming from trying to stay awake because I've just not slept for like 4 days. For anyone who doesn't know, I've literally been suffering from the weirdest anaphylactic allergic reaction to an insect bite.
Yep.
I had a bottom lip that would make Eddie Murphy proud.
Mate, we need to put a picture on screen. Please, just so that people know, we need to put the picture on screen.
Yeah, I looked like I was getting ready to audition for the geezer out the Goonies. Hey, you guys! I've been practicing that all week as well. You know, I look terrible. It was
you'd literally like the picture that I saw would make them slutty women that live in LA who get Botox every fucking week. They're like, oh my god, I want those lips.
What was the bird?
I'm so jelly.
What was the bird out of Men Behaving Badly? What was she called?
Oh god, I don't know.
Completely wrecked her face with Botox and everything else that she did. She was a proper gorgeous woman and then just went into self-destruction.
It just reminded me literally of like a gold digger's lips, you know, like they marry an old guy for money and the first thing that they do is get lip fillers. You got them from an insect bite and they pay thousands and thousands of dollars for it.
If I could
just
only
get a fucking insect to bite you, mate.
If I could work out what insect it was, I could rent it out. I'd make millions.
Oh, mate. Step right up. Get an insect bite for your lip fillers.
I could have literally rented my bottom lip out as a bouncy castle. It was that big. Fucking insane. And what made it worse was my dog was like looking at me going, I don't know you.
Oh, God.
You sort of look like me dad, but who are you? It was a horrible experience. So yeah, this week I've been pretty much through the ring. I was supposed to stream 2 days ago Death Stranding, and Slobs decided it was never going to work again. So yeah, my mortal enemy right now is Slobs. So hopefully I've got that fixed. It completely wrecked my PC, which was gutting for me to the point where I was like, you know what, fuck streaming. I've had enough. I've had enough of all the issues. I'll just stick to making videos. So yeah, and to be honest, I'm on the edge now. If I get one more problem over the next week with anything to do with streaming, I'm just not going to stream again. I'll just keep making videos for YouTube.
That's the worst thing, though. It's like my problem because of the state of what my equipment is in right now. As someone that uploads YouTube or to YouTube or streams or something like that, when your equipment malfunctions or when a program that you use ends up making updates like Slobs has done, and then it's like they sort of broke something that was perfect in the beginning,
Yeah.
and it just fucks you up. When you do this as like a hobby or whatever, it really messes up with your head when your equipment fails on you. So I completely sympathize with you, buddy. Really
Well,
do.
it's like Bungie when they use the philosophy of if it ain't broke, break it. And this is the way
Yeah.
it works. It's just Slobs was working perfectly fine, and now all
Yeah.
of a sudden it's convinced my PC that it needs like 6 more CPUs to run it. Fuck's sake, man! But in any case, we're here, and I'm recording on a simple program that can't feck up, and if it does, I'm going to be one unhappy chappy. If this one cocks up, I'm literally just going to put out a 30-second video on Tuesday saying "fuck TGP, fuck the world, I've had enough, I'm done." Literally done. But no, but seriously, thank you to everyone who stuck by my channel and stuck by me and stuck by the stream and everything. And it's and obviously everyone who's been helping Tats along, because those videos have been really cool, been really nice to listen to. And if you haven't listened to already, you need to get out there and listen to the videos, because I went to bed listening to one, just like put it in the background, just like listen, thinking this is actually quite soothing. I tell you what would be a really good channel for you, like a really good thing. Do you read a lot?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Right. So
I know what you're about to fucking say.
Yeah, no, the thing is though, if you've got a Kindle or you've got access to books at all, there's like the free books that you can get. I've just written one called Crimson something. It's a sci-fi. I love me sci-fi books. You could literally make a channel just like an audio book channel, just reading the books.
You really think so?
Hey, I tell you, even I was considering to one stage, because I could put my voice acting in, but your voice is perfect for it.
Should I start doing that?
I think you should, man.
Leave it in the comment section, whether it's on Mr. B's video or my video, whether you want to see that. And you know what? I will actually try it for an episode and see what
it'd be
feedback
brilliant,
I get.
You cut it into chunks, like 30-minute chunks or whatever, chapter 1 or chapter 1 through 5 or whatever.
Put it in a playlist.
Really cool. Yeah, it'd be really cool. I think that'd be a nice little, because it's free audiobooks. Audiobooks charge millions for their service. It's incredible how much they charge. Just so you can get Kevin Spacey read a book to you. No, thank you. I'd rather have your voice. It's awesome.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'll ever think about that.
There you go. If you don't do it, I'm doing it with my northern voice. You can imagine Pride and Prejudice, like something like Shakespeare. Dost thou want to see me tomorrow?
That would be amazing, dude.
Romeo, where art thou, you bastard?
My cat is trying to steal the limelight. If I had a fucking camera on right now, then she's walking backwards and forwards in front of the mic. So if anyone can hear a bit of scuffling or purring or anything like that or meowing, it's genuinely my cat trying to steal the microphone away from me. I apologise in advance.
I tell you what, listeners, it's a cracking excuse, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just me. I'm rubbing up against the mic.
So that's what the kids call it these days, is it?
I nearly said something so fucking crude then, but I won't. I'll just stick to the F-bombs. That's it. I'm not going to say anything else.
Yeah, I bet it had to be another name for cat as well.
Funnily enough, yes, it was.
I know where your mind was going.
In the fucking gutter.
Yeah, I think the whole of the YouTube community now does as well. You've just become the #1 star. So,
oh fuck,
gaming.
Yes.
So it's been a bit of a cool 2 weeks. Obviously, we had the release of COD, which has been, I put my review out on it. For me, it's been lovely. Purely because it was more down to my game style, which is the slow, cheeky, bring people in to blow them up and watch them sit there giggling as they do it. It's beautiful. But obviously it's been getting bitch slapped from pillar to post by 402 Thunder, Karma, and loads of like proper OP bloody MLG superstars are like, no, I'm not playing this no more because you can't run and gun. They're fucking babies.
I think people are trying to make every new COD now back to COD 4. You know, when it actually was good, they're like, oh, nothing compares to COD 4. It's like, bro, that was 10 years ago. Calm down. Like, come on, move with the
Gaming's supposed to be about
times.
innovation, not imitation. And the straight fact is, they tried to do something new with the new sort of gameplay. There's a few things they didn't quite get right, like the weapon balancing and stuff.
And the dead silence.
Well, and things like that they needed sort. But as far as the game style was concerned, I actually enjoyed it. But now they've just released a couple of new maps, and obviously they have backed down to these OP MLG superstars, and now created a more run and gun-esque playstyle, which is just fucked it right up in my opinion. All the Twitch kiddies are happy again, so it looks like I'm going back to Battlefield, which just released another couple of maps, which are beautiful, by the way. Have you seen them, the new maps on Battlefield?
No, I've not. I'm going to have a look at that.
Jesus Christ, the Iwo Jima maps. Iwo Jima! Not to be, casual racism and everything, but they're absolutely stunning and really well put together as well. I've had a blast. There's 2 new maps and a load of new guns and stuff. And I loaded it up last week once I'd had enough of COD while I was waiting for Death Stranding. And Jesus, Mary and Joseph of the two. I was gobsmacked at how beautiful these maps were.
Yeah.
I wanted to jump through my screen and go there on holiday. It was that good.
See, I like Battlefield maps. In most of the Battlefield sort of series, I loved all of them. I loved all their maps. I think they're beautiful. They are beautiful. I haven't seen the new ones, but
the Battlefield 5 maps so far have been okay at best. There's been some nice ones, but there's been some god awful ones as well, like the Mauritius ones.
In comparison to like Call of Duty and stuff, which is just usually a load of broken buildings and a load of broken down cars, I'd probably say in comparison, because this new Call of Duty really does, and people might hate me for this, but it reminds me of Battlefield, like with the tanks and the vehicles in the multiplayer, stuff like that, the high buildings, it reminds me of Battlefield Hardline a little bit.
The difference between that and Battlefield is the scumminess of the people who play it. In the ground wars, 90% of each team is made up of snipers who will try and get as high as possible, or the back of the map is for them to snipe. Just like I do, to be fair. I'm not different. I'm not like claiming some sort of moral high ground here, because you can't run and gun in those game modes. You get smacked instantly. You'll have a KD of like minus 55 million. It's insane. But the Battlefield, it's a bit more. If you try and do that in Battlefield, you will get rinsed.
Yeah.
Because the game,
the gunplay is different in Battlefield.
I think they're more intelligent players in Battlefield. And I actually genuinely believe that. I even have to admit that. Because the people in Battlefield, in general, use tactics. Actual tactics. Squad tactics. Whereas in COD, it's everyone for themselves, realistically.
It is. It's like solo. It's literally every man for themselves. It's like you're playing a free-for-all. But I've just noticed that it's snipers, tanks, and fucking claymores. That's what I've seen on the new Call of Duty at the moment.
Pretty much is. I mean, when I play COD with my mates, we're just generally talking about anything as we're running around, like, doing our shit. When I play Battlefield with my mates, we're, like, relaying information back and forth. And there's actual bloody tactics going on, right? You push around that side, I'll come from this side, and all that sort of stuff. Battlefield is a thinker's man's simulator. Whereas COD's just an arcade piece of shit. Always has been. But that, you can tell I'm not a CODamite. So it's just, I don't worship at the altar of COD as much as I've enjoyed the new iteration. But the other thing is, we're talking about innovation. The other game to come out this week is Death Stranding. Fuckity-doo-dah. I don't even know where to begin with that one. I've literally been sat making notes for my review, which will probably come out in the next week. And I just don't know where to begin with it.
I was going to say, are you making a review on that? Because that would be quite interesting.
Absolutely. Well, I'll make a review, then I'll trade it in. But the thing with it is that it's pure Kojima. 100% Kojima. And what I mean by that is it's completely batshit crazy. I listened to some people do reviews on it, and they go on about, it's just an Amazon Prime postal simulator. And anyone who says that has either not played it properly, or didn't understand what the fuck was going on. Because that is not the case at all. I mean, the premise of the story is that the world's gone to shit, obviously. There's no Kojima game where the world hasn't gone to shit. So the world's gone to the shit. There's no date in it as far as how far into the future it is. We just know everything's dead. Long dead. Like, imagine the type of sort of dead I'm seeing is a Holocaust that wiped out the whole of America and then add 200-300 years to it. So you get the sort of idea of how fucked up it is. The problem is that the landscape doesn't look anything like America. If anything, It looks like Scandinavia. It's like Kojima turned around and said, has anyone got some pictures of America? And then they showed them Helsinki. That's America, Kojima. All right, okay, we'll just go off that then. Because nothing looks like it. You've even got like... like the black sand beaches and all that sort of stuff that you find in Norway and all that sort of area.
Yeah.
Iceland. You've got all that sort of stuff and like the volcanic beaches and everything.
Right.
Which just aren't, or that I understand, or how I would imagine America to be.
It reminds me a little bit like a cross between some parts of Europe and New Zealand. That's what it reminds me of.
And
the Greenland of New Zealand.
Yes, that's exactly what it's like. And the soundtrack is very like Bjorn-esque.
Oh.
You know,
okay.
What was the song that went like...
Oh, that was on an advert for a car. I know it was, but I don't know what...
But it was all like really happy, really cool sort of vibey music, but it's like that sort of music. And it's all done by basically, this is why I say Scandinavian, it's all by Scandinavian artists.
Oh.
And it's really weird. It doesn't look anything like America. But in any case, so the world's gone to shit. There's some sort of paranormal activity going on in the form of an enemy called the BTs, and all that is not British Telecom. They're just bloody twats as far as I'm concerned. So you get these bloody twats that will come in and will try and pull you into some oily sludge.
Right.
So that you've got that problem, and then you've got the terrorist side of things who don't want America to reconnect. In the meantime, you join a faction that's trying to get America all back on like a connected sort of level again. So from there, your job is basically to go from settlement to settlement to reconnect everybody. But in the meantime, all the settlements need supplies, as they would in the future. So your job is to take supplies from A to B. Now, some of those supplies are stupid. Like, one of the twats wanted an express pizza. I wanted to blow his place up when I got there. But it's things like seeds and things that you've got to take from A to B. So yes, there is the aspect of, I am just a postman, but you're not a postman. Yes, you are taking stuff from A to B, and that is the crux of the game, working out how to get from A to B. But the idea is the stories or premise behind stories. The story or premise behind it is that you're trying to reconnect America.
Right,
the whole of it, from west to east. And yeah, it's a weird game. It's a masterpiece, but a masterpiece for gaming connoisseurs.
Right. It seems like one of those games that you couldn't play with music in the background. Like, you couldn't just listen to like your favourite rapper whilst playing it. Like, you could play probably Call of Duty.
Yes, you can.
Don't you need to like listen to some sort of story though?
The story's few and far between. You get like 2 hours gameplay for an hour's cutscene. It's crazy. But you'll get like a big cutscene all at once. Like typical Kojima. He just slaps you around the face with a movie, like a 10-minute movie or whatever. And then you carry on and on and on. But there's not much in between apart from trying to get from A to B and reconnect in America. So the biggest thing is, I mean, every now and again it'll just chuck a song up. out of nowhere. And you're like,
Right.
I wasn't really listening to you, to be honest. I didn't want to listen to you. Some of the songs is fucking god awful. But the biggest thing that I've been doing while I've been playing is I'm having to watch TV at the same time to keep me stimulated.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, is it
is
not one of those to
boring.
where you can have half your headset off? Is it one of those
Yeah,
where
no,
you
you
have to
can't.
listen to it all the time,
No,
or can you just sort of look somewhere else whilst
no,
driving or
I've
whatever?
got two screens. I've got no, 'cause you don't drive, you walk mainly everywhere.
Okay.
I've got two screens. I've got one playing the game and one showing Big Bang Theory. And at the end of the day, it's when I say boring, it's the weirdest type of boring. I keep saying words like weird and batshit crazy because generally, if a game's boring, you just put it down and sell it and think, "No, I can't be arsed with that." But there's something intriguing about it. There's something that makes you want to go back to it, to keep playing, to keep getting to the next place. And it's a weird. Do you know, like at the gym? Yeah, you wake up and think, "Oh, I don't really want to go to the gym. Can't be arsed." But then you force yourself to go, and then once you're there, you're really glad you've been there. You're really glad you're doing it. Once you're actually doing it, it's all right. The game is the exact same thing. And there was one thing where it gave me a thing where I practically had to walk 3/4 of the way across America to get all across this region. And I was like, oh, I can't be arsed doing that. Can't be.
Yeah,
No
'cause I was
fucking
thinking,
way.
you're not really selling the game to me. Like, you know what I
It's
mean?
not a game that
Like,
I'd try and sell
it
you.
sounded interesting, but it's like you're saying, this, and this. But I don't know, it's one of those things that if you're in the mood for like that sort of chill games where you're just walking everywhere, you don't want to have to listen to the lore, you want to watch a bit of TV whilst playing a game, then fair enough. But sometimes you want to be engrossed with
But
the
no, but this
lore
is the
and the
thing. This is where the
cutscenes,
weird shit comes in. This game makes you feel different to any other game I've ever played. Any other.
So there's not a game like this out there, no?
No, nothing. It's got elements of other games, but there's nothing like this. And one of the weirdest, most intriguing things about this game, above anything else, is that it draws you back to it. You can't ignore it. You can't put it down.
It's quite hard for a game to do that when it's not got a lot of,
Well, bear in mind, a lot of it's problem solving. Most of the game is problem solving. Give you, for instance, I had a truck with a load of gear in it, load of packages and stuff, and I thought, fucking awesome, I can take all this thing, I can just do like 3 drops at once, jobs are good, and earn all this money and all this shit. Oh, fame, I think it's not money. Halfway around the trip, I got to a point where my truck couldn't go no further. I then had to work out what I needed to drop so that I could pick up the other stuff and then start working out a logistical way of getting all this stuff to where I wanted to go in one trip without having to double back every 2 minutes. And that was when problem solving comes in. And from a problem solving aspect, it's intensely fun. If you're like the type of person that enjoys a game of chess where it's tactics and you're thinking and you're problem solving, and I explained it to a friend of mine who was in the military, in Barnes, and basically, like when you get put out onto a survival recce, where you just get chucked in the woods and you've got to work out how to get back. It's like that. It's exactly like that. You've been given a load of like really important stuff that this place absolutely needs 100%, and you've got to work out how to get from A to B over the terrain, dodging the bloody twats and the terrorists at the same time.
Right.
And there's like a horror theme into it as well, which rolls in where if you do get to a point where you have to go through BT territory, you've got to do it low down. You've got to hold your breath at certain points. You've got to inch your way through and try not to get caught. And if you do get caught, you've got to leg it and hope you're right.
It seemed like it had that sort of little bit of a Splinter Cell-y sort of stealth about it as well.
It does.
It seemed like that. Very much.
The mules, which are the terrorists, they can fuck you over quickly, because they've got scanners, and if you went to their area, they literally start scanning for you, and you've got to get out of where you were, so you can't just stay in the same place because they'll just put out a bing, spot where you are, and they'll come to where you are. So you've got to keep moving, and it's a nightmare.
I'd shit myself.
And if they see you, if you've got no weapons, you've just got to run. and you've got to hope to God that they don't catch you, because they'll just nick all your stuff and rape you. And it's just the way it goes. BTs, different story. BTs will literally, they're like the paranormal side of things. They will bring out everything they can. They're like little floating things in the sky, and they're searching for you constantly. If you make, they're attracted to noise, so you can't make any noise. If you get near one, you've got to hold your breath. And it just gets weirder and weirder and weirder and weirder as the game goes on.
It sounds like a mind fuck. Now that you're explaining it a little bit more, it sounds like a bit of a mind fuck.
And this is where my problem with a lot of the reviews are. When I started explaining this to you, it sounded like a postal simulator.
Yeah.
Then when you start going deeper into it, you start realising, well, hang on, no, there's more to this. And there's a lot more to it. Which is why I keep saying to everyone, it's anyone who says it's just a postal simulator, or simulator, not stimulator, anyone who says it's a postal simulator hasn't either got the concept or hasn't properly played it. Because there is a lot more to it, and it's the lot more to it bits that keep pulling you back over and over again, without fail. And I'm getting to the point where once I've completed it, I've completed it. I don't need to go back to it. But whilst I'm still in the transition of completing it, I want to see what's going on. I want to find out a bit more. I want to keep trying to connect, get to the end. Because you're on a journey, there's no two ways about it. So spiritual, story, mission-wise, you're on a journey from start to finish, and I want to get to the end of that journey just to have the full Kojima experience. If you don't like Kojima games, you're probably not going to like this. You've got to have an appreciation for his style in the same way that you've got to really appreciate art house horror to enjoy the films. Does that make sense? It's like, I wouldn't necessarily recommend a Guillermo del Toro movie to anybody. Because you've got to really appreciate who's actually in the game, but you've got to really appreciate his style to appreciate the movie. You know what I mean? And it's that sort of thing. Kojima's he's batshit crazy, and he has a certain way of doing things that can really play with your head. I would love him to do an out-and-out horror game, because he would be able to turn even the hardest horror nut into a weeping ball of like juice on the floor, by the time it's finished. His mind is a crazy, crazy place. Crazy place. That guy's more batshit crazy than anyone on earth. And you can tell this is a game that he's just been allowed to make without any restraints.
Yeah, just like go crazy and just do it. Kind of like one of those.
What gets me is this is a game that nobody's asked for. It's not a battle royale. It's not a first-person shooter. It's not an MMO. It's not an RPG. There's nothing that you can literally put that would pigeonhole this game. Nobody asked for it. He's just created something that he wanted to create.
Yeah, this was like literally an image in his mind. Yeah. Like, this was an image in his mind. It was like, right, get it on fucking paper, get it on a computer, boom, let's make it.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. That's fucking art, dude.
And if you can appreciate that, you're what I call a connoisseur gamer.
Yeah.
You're not the mainstream gamer. And a connoisseur gamer will understand what he's trying to do, and will appreciate the way it's been achieved, or the way it's sort of been put into action. And although I do appreciate all that, it's one of them games I can't even give it a score. I can't give it a score, and I won't ever be able to give it a score. It's not a 10 out of 10. It's not a 4 out of 10. There's just no way to score it. In some aspects, it's perfect. In some aspects, it really fucking isn't. It's almost job-like in some aspects. I actually sat there playing it just early today thinking, I'm taking a pizza to some geezer. I could be getting paid for this. You know what I mean? And it's really weird. There's bits where you just go, I can't be asked doing that, but I got to do it anyway. And it's almost job-like. I've never come across anything like this in my life. And I'm astounded with it. It's whether I recommend it to anybody, no. Not in a million years. Because I don't want to be the person that gets the shit for recommending it if they didn't like it.
Yeah, I'd probably say wait for your review to come out, because it's going to be honest. It's going to be, because everyone knows that Mr. B's reviews are not, shit covered in sugar or whatever. It's the real deal. It goes ham on it. It tells you everything you need to know, the pros and cons. If it's a shit game, you'll say it outright. You're not going to beat around the bush. So definitely wait for that review, I would say, and then make up your own mind if you want to play it or not. It still is in early days, though. It only came out on the 8th of this month, So
I've been playing. I've had about 40 hours into it so far.
Yeah.
But the straight fact is, I know exactly how that review is going to end.
Mm-hmm.
Take everything I've said and add it to research before you buy it.
Of course. Yeah.
Because this is one of those games, I'm not going to tell anyone to go and buy it because it's like No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky would only appeal to certain people.
Yeah, I was going to say it's got that sort of vibe to the game as well, like No Man's Sky.
In the same sense, if somebody likes sci-fi stuff, you've got an avenue to put into them. But I can't think of a niche market that would love this.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like art house horror. If there's a decent director of that and somebody likes art house horror, I'd say, have you seen his movies? Go watch them. Really good. I can't think of it's apocalyptic. Yeah, do you like apocalyptic free roaming games? Well, yeah, there's that.
Yep.
But then it's not really that because it's more horror. Because of the BTs and stuff. Do you like horror games? Well, yeah, but do you find that boy? There's so many. It just crosses so many different realms.
It's not one genre. That's the thing. It's not an FPS. It's not just a battle royale. It's not just a horror game. It's like a multi-dip into a lot of fucking things. And it's if you kind of like that sort of game. But I can't wait for your review. I'm really excited for it. I want to see.
Thinking about it while I've been sat here, there is only one niche market for it, and that's a Kojima market.
Right.
That's the only market. That's the only thing that it plays like, a Kojima game. You can see influences from Metal Gear Solid. You see the little influences, like the little jokes and stuff. Like, for instance, there's a bit, and this isn't a spoiler, so don't worry. There's a bit where you need to take Norman Reedus, who's the main character, for a shower and a shit, right? It's in the game, you've got to go for it. When he goes for a shit, the screens close around him, so you can't see what's going on, but you know he's having a shit. The screens have an advert for his actual real-life latest series on them. And it's just...
See, I actually wanted to bring something up about that. I really did. There was a bit of controversy that went on about this. Some people didn't really appreciate it. But apparently, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but if you've seen the news, then they've spoiled it before me. There's been a lot of, within the game, a lot of sort of advertisements for certain products and stuff like that, which it's not unheard of. It has happened in games before, but it's kind of so blatant that you can't even call it a subliminal message, it's right there in the cutscene, I think you know what I'm talking about, because you've just mentioned one of them, but there's plenty more, like a certain energy drink or this, that, and stuff like that.
Monster energy drinks,
Monster energy drink.
Taken out, I think.
Oh, really?
I think
there was a lot of controversy.
Well, the reason why I say this is that all of a sudden I'm not drinking Monster energy drink. I'm drinking something called Time Up. But I don't know whether that's just because of where I was. I'm not sure. But tell you what, I'll show you something that is pure Kojima. This is exactly what I mean by pure Kojima. We'll do this while we're all on air. If you go on my Twitter right now.
Yes.
Which for anyone who doesn't know, it's Gaming Gorilla 3. If you go on my Twitter right now, the latest thing that I tweeted, a little video.
Okay, with the baby. All right.
Just watch this.
Okay.
It's 23 seconds long.
Okay.
There's a silence because I'm waiting for the reaction.
What the fuck? What? What? Huh?
Now, I will put that video up into this stream so you can actually see it in the background of what's going on. It's 23
Yes.
seconds long, but it's just that is pure Kojima.
I've never seen that on a game.
Yeah,
I've never even seen that in real life. Like,
exactly.
what?
That baby thing, all without the baby is what you connect, is what they call a bridge baby. It's a baby taken from a still mother. So if the mother
Okay.
goes into, not death, but brain dead during birth,
Yeah.
they will take the baby, not during birth, or while she's pregnant. If the mother goes brain dead while she's pregnant, they'll take the baby and sort of simulate it being in the womb. So the baby constantly thinks it's in his mother's womb. But because of
Okay.
that, you can use that stage of life to detect BTs, the paranormal thing.
Right, okay.
So that's what he taps into, and that's why you have this link between you and the baby. And you've got to, if you fall over while you're out and about, the baby will start crying, and you've got to soothe it. It's a fucking pain in the ass. It's a real pain in the ass.
That is a mind fuck. That is a mind fuck. What the hell?
Yeah, and if you're fighting BTs or you're in with BTs, the baby's crying its fucking head off, and you've got to stop what you're doing. If it gets too low, it gets too upset. It then starts killing itself with like toxins.
What?
With like toxins. And I don't mean it tries to strangle itself or anything. I mean it's like there's toxins that release that like almost kill it. So you've got to like you just have this little red bar that's going down, and if that or orange bar, if that orange bar gets too low, you've literally got to find a place to hide and soothe the fucker back to life so it calms it down. Why are you fighting these BTs? It's insane.
That is a mind fuck.
The game is insane. It is pure Kojima. And I tried to explain this to Mrs. B, and she just looked at me like I'd lost the plot completely.
I don't even know how I feel by watching that video. Like, what?
Yeah. It's just, I saw that for the first time, and I literally sat there and I had to tweet it straight away, like, what the actual fuck have I just seen?
Yeah, like the caption of the video is "What the actual fuck," you know. That's what you've titled it. Like,
Yeah.
what? That's the phrase that you see yourself saying because of that, and that's just one scene out of the full game.
Yeah.
The whole game just sounds like a mind fuck to me.
It's not, and the stupid
But a
part
good
about
kind
that
of
baby
mindfuck.
thing, that's just a Kojima joke. And you don't realise till afterwards that it was just, it's not a part of the story, it's not a part of the lore, there's no rhyme or reason to it, it's just a Kojima joke.
It just happened. It was, yeah, right. I understand.
Yeah, and it's just, you just sit there going, you're messing with me for no reason here, you're not being fair. You know, and it's insane. I've never played it. It's a game that has truly intrigued the shit out of me. I've got people in the Destiny clan that ask me, what's it like? Do you recommend it? I'm like, let's not go that far. Let's just slow your roll a second, because the last time I got caught in that trap was No Man's Sky, and I recommended that to everyone within the first week of buying it. And what a mistake that was. And I've never let it down. My mates still run around going, best game ever. Like, fuck off, you little twats. But the straight fact is this is a weird one.
See, with No Man's Sky, you know, it was tragic at the beginning. What I'm kind of, and it's suddenly gotten better with the release of the free DLC Beyond.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that this game's not going to be very similar to that.
No,
I hope with the negative parts of this game, they're not going to bring out some sort of downloadable content or any
Kojima
sort of thing, you know, that'll make it better.
You've got to understand Kojima. Kojima's one of these blokes who will put something out and say, like it, I love it.
Right, okay.
You hate it or love it, I don't care. That's my vision, that's what it is. And he won't bend over for nobody. He won't apologise for anything. It just is what it is. That's his vision, that's his game. You either love it or hate it. And that's Kojima all over. And that's what makes you love him. That's what, you know, it's what endears you to him. Because there is no party line for him to toe. You know what I mean? There's no Activision or EA that's going to be worried about the stock prices if he tells everyone to fuck off. It just is what it is. It's Kojima. And the straight fact is that when you give a developer that sort of reign, this is what's created. Now, it might not be to everybody's taste. It might be a Marmite of a game. There's a film that I love, From Dusk Till Dawn. I love that film. I've watched it a million times. But then again, I know people who absolutely detest it and call it an abomination to the movie industry. This game's the same thing. It's going to get people calling it a fucking waste of time.
There's
But
a lot
it's
of people
not.
saying that. I've just read some reviews. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a Japanese magazine who give it like, I think, the 4th ever 10 out of 10 in its history of like publishing reviews. But
Wow.
I mean, he's got some massive accolades, but at the same time, he's got some massive criticisms. But I think that's what gets Kojima off.
Yeah.
You know, that's what turns him on in life. He loves being polarizing. He
See,
loves walking that line.
I think you said it right with the whole Marmite thing. Whether you love it or you fucking hate it,
There's
it's
no
one
in
of those.
between. There's no mediocre to it.
Yeah.
There's nothing down the middle. You either absolutely love and appreciate the game for what it is, and because bear in mind, things like the voice acting and all the different parts of all the different characters are fucking amazing. Like top notch voice acting, and Mads Mikkelsen, Norman Reedus, and all the other parts that are in there do the job amazingly well. So its production value is of the highest class, but it's the whole package that puts people off. And I get it. I totally get it. But there's no middle of the road here. There's no, it's alright. COD. The story, the single player story in COD. Yeah, you're alright, decent. It's not something I'm going to hail as game of the year, but it's not the worst I've played. That's a middle of the road single player. This is the worst piece of shit I've ever played in my life, or thank you, Kojima, you're a gaming god. It's one of the two.
Yeah. And
I think to do that, you've got to be one brave bastard. Not enough people do that these days.
Oh, no, definitely not.
It shows what can happen. There's only one other that's done it, that was God of War.
Yeah.
Where they pretty much did how they wanted it and they didn't give a fuck what anyone thought. This is our vision. It is what it is, like it or lumpy. But Sony seems to do that quite a lot, don't they?
They do, yeah.
Sony seem to just say, look, we want a game from you, give us what you want.
See, it's the Xbox that are pussies.
I've said that from day one. The Xbox are console wannabes. They're just, fucking useless bastards. What's an Xbox bloody thing? Sea of Thieves. Yeah, let's go play Sea of Boredom. Yeah. No, thank you. Crackdown 3, that's never coming out. It got delayed for like 10 years or something daft. Yeah, that's Xbox for you. Whereas Sony's just like...
Xbox used to be good. Xbox used to be good when it was the Xbox 360, but as soon as the Xbox One came out, they turned into pussies and started hiding behind PlayStation's fucking shadow. But just putting it out there that, the console or whatever, PC Master Race, let's go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because PCs are amazing, aren't they? They don't break down one bit and they're all the same, so there's no problem with cheating or anything. PCs are amazing. Fucking
I knew I was going to set him off. Let's go.
Master Race, my arse. They're fucking useless. To be fair, I'm on a bit of a downer with my PC at the moment. PCs can all suck dick at the moment. Whoever invented a PC needs to be thrown into a vat of boiling oil. Yeah, and just for those who complain at that shit, though, that's not me advocating murder. Just chill your beans.
It's called a joke. It's a fucking joke.
I once said something about he wants to be thrown screaming from a helicopter in front of his family. It's just like fucking. It's just a term of endearment from me. It is what it is. You don't like it? Don't listen to me. Fuck off. Jesus Christ. But no, it's just one of those things. I think Death Stranding is going to be one of the polarizing games of this generation. Mm-hmm. For PlayStation, the Xbox doesn't really have a generation. No. And PCs are all one big generation in it.
See, I'm glad to see something different come on the market.
This is
You've
different.
got
It's
these
definitely
battle
that.
royales, you've got the games that are just reskinned. You've got all this sort of meta bullshit that's coming out, like all the same games coming out, Apex Legends, etc. That Fortnite, all that. I'm glad to see some sort of game that actually pushes you. It seems like it
Yeah.
pushes you, and it pushes like a genre when it doesn't really have one. It has multiple genres, but it's
Yeah.
nice to see something different. That's
Well,
quite refreshing.
when I'm finished with Death Stranding, my next one's going to be the new Star Wars. And that's going to
Oh,
be interesting. Fallen
ooh.
something or other. But that's because that's what I'll trade this in for. So I'll still get like 30 quid back on the disc. But
Mhm.
the straight fact is that it's going to be an experience going from something like this to Fallen Order, because
Mhm.
Fallen Order doesn't walk a line. It has to be Star Wars. It has to be. There's things it has to tick. Whether they are more careful is going to be an interesting view. It's going to be a
Mhm.
bloody good comparison. Whereas Kojima doesn't give a shit, I think. Is it Respawn that's making it? I think Respawn are on Fallen Order. I'm sure it is. I think Respawn's going to have to be a lot more careful.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's Respawn. I could be wrong there. And if I
Trying to
am, put it
find
in the
it.
comment section to say, Mr. B, you're a dick. It's actually such and such.
No, you are right. It's
Is it me?
Respawn.
Hey, fucking hell, I know something. That's awesome. Yeah, I
Yeah.
actually remembered something. Oh, I must be getting back to my old self. So, with that being said, I tell you what, I'm glad to be back here.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back with you.
Uh,
It's been quite lonely, I have to admit.
I'm so lonely. I have nobody to give me shit. But oh bless. So yeah, so we're back.
Yep.
This is obviously going out on the Tuesday at 2:00. It'll all be ready.
Mhm.
I will be
Yep.
testing it this afternoon just to make sure it's all right. And if it isn't, we'll be re-recording tomorrow. But
Yep.
other than that, it's been a cracking podcast, and I
Mhm.
once again want to thank everyone for the support. It's been superb.
Yeah.
Don't forget, we'll have all in the descriptions below about joining us on Twitter, joining us on
Mhm.
YouTube, and wherever else we decide to put our ugly mugs. And yeah, so that'll be all us. So until next week, everybody, thank you for listening. That's all from me, Mr. B.
And me, Tats.
Ta-ta for now. Hold up.